Namaskar. Prayers for your and your family members' safety and health. Hope you're all very fine. In this video lesson, we are going to take chapter number 1, class 11th English. Name of the chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. In the first video lesson, we had seen how Khushwant Singh describes his grandmother and how he recalls the life of village and what kind of relationship did he share with his grandmother. How grandmother used to wake him up, make him ready for school, and both of them went off to school. They had breakfast of chapatis, bread and butter, and they carried some chapatis. What for? Do you remember? Yes, after the school was over, these chapatis were given to the village dogs. The school and the temple were in the same campus. While the children learned alphabet, grandmother would sit and read scriptures. One more facet of the grandmother that we come to know is that she is a very religious lady. Even when she is old right now, she is always lost in her prayers. In one hand, continuously, the beads of rosary go on and on. In the village also, she would go along with Khushwant Singh and read the scriptures while Khushwant Singh studied in school. We also came to know that Khushwant Singh has described her to be a very old lady with wrinkled face, and she was like that for the past 20 years. It was hard to believe, according to Khushwant Singh, that she was once young. So this is what we read in the first part of the chapter, where Khushwant Singh describes his grandmother and also the village life. Let us read further. This particular paragraph talks about the city life. Once the parents are settled, they call Khushwant Singh in the city. So in the city, Khushwant Singh and his grandmother live with Khushwant Singh's parents, and Khushwant Singh takes admission in a school. Now it is written that this is a turning point in the relationship between Khushwant Singh and his grandmother. Let us read this paragraph. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. So notice the words written in bold, a turning point. So this highlights that there was a change in the relationship between the author Khushwant Singh and his grandmother. What was the change that came as compared to the village life? Well, in the city, Khushwant Singh took admission in the English school, and he went to school in a motor bus. So this did not allow the grandmother to join Khushwant Singh to go to school. Moreover, he went to an English school. One more thing that changed was There were no dogs in the street, and so feeding the dogs was no more seen now. But instead, grandmother fed sparrows. So this also shows one more facet of her personality, that she loved, she enjoyed the company of animals and birds. Let us move on. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. To her, music had lewd associations. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentlefolk. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. In this part, we see that initially, when they came to the city, grandmother used to wake Khushwant Singh up, like what she did in the village. But because she could not help him in the lessons, she could not go to the school along with Khushwant Singh, she was not able to feed the dogs like she did in the village. The relationship between the grandmother and Khushwant Singh started on a decline. Well, they did have a good relationship, but the closeness was missing. We also see that grandmother was not able to help Khushwant Singh in his studies. There was a lot of science studied in school. Some examples are given like gravity, Archimedes' principle, and the world around us, etc. So when grandmother came to know that there was science in school and no study of scriptures and God, she was a little unhappy. Okay. Anyhow, she did not show her displeasure. She did not oppose that, but she was quiet. She became quiet. And this quietness meant her refusal. It meant that she was not happy with what was being taught in the school. One more thing happened. One day, when Khushwant Singh came back home and told his grandmother that today we've learnt music, we had music lessons, she was really disturbed. Because according to her, music was not meant for gentle people, gentle families, good families. Okay? According to her, music had negative associations. Music was for beggars. It was not meant for good people. So this made her more silent. And it is written that she said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. And after that day, she rarely talked to Khushwant Singh. Okay? Because things were not in her hand, that is what she felt. So it is better to keep quiet. And therefore, she became silent. Let us read further. When I went up to university, I was given a room of my own. The common link of friendship was snapped. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. While she sat in the veranda, breaking the bread into little bits, hundreds of little birds collected round her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirrupings. Some came and perched on her legs, others on her shoulders. Some even sat on her head. She smiled, but never shooed them away. It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. In this part, we see the time when Khushwant Singh took admission in the university. So, when he started his university, higher education, he got his own room. And therefore, he says that the common link of friendship was snapped. So, what was the common link of friendship? Well, till now, Khushwant Singh and his grandmother used to share a common room. But now, when he is in the university, he got his own personal room, and grandmother lived in some other room. So, this common link, that is the room of the grandmother and grandson, it was not common now. So, the common link of friendship was snapped. Till now, after school, when Khushwant Singh was at home, he would be with his grandmother. They had the same room. But anyhow, what was the response of the grandmother? It is written, my grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. Matlab, she agreed to that also. And once again, she became quiet. In fact, she became quieter. And she used to engage herself in activities like spinning. It is written that from sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers. So she kept to herself. She did not speak to the family members. She did not speak much to Khushwant Singh. Okay, and one more thing that she did was she used to feed the sparrows. And it is written that it was the happiest half hour of the day for her. And the birds also enjoyed her company. Now we come to see that when she would feed the birds would come very closely to her. Birds would sit on her shoulder, birds would sit on her head, and she would not shoo them away. So this shows what close relationship she had with the birds. The birds enjoyed their company. In the same way, the grandmother also enjoyed the company of the birds. So we see that the relationship between Khushwant Singh and his grandmother changes over the period of time. One paragraph tells us about the village life. One paragraph tells us about the city life when Khushwant Singh takes admission in school. Then a little more time in school, and then one more paragraph talks about the university life. Let us move further. When I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell. But my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. She came to leave me at the railway station, but did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished the moist imprint as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. In this part, we see that Khushwant Singh decides to go to a foreign country for his further studies. So the grandmother comes to see him off at the railway station, and we notice that she is quiet here also. She is not sentimental that Khushwant Singh will be going for 5 long years to a foreign country and she will not be able to meet him every day. Hmm? But she was quiet. Her lips were moving in prayers. She was lost in prayers. She was telling the beads of her rosary. One thing that Khushwant Singh cherishes or always remembers is that moist imprint of her lips on his forehead. This means that at the railway station, before Khushwant Singh left, before Khushwant Singh boarded the train, the grandmother kissed his forehead, and therefore this became the last sign of physical contact between Khushwant Singh and the grandmother. And this particular physical contact Khushwant Singh cherishes a lot. He remembers this particular moment during his stay in the foreign country and even later on. That was all for today. Meet you in the next video lesson and we read further. As homework, I want you to read this chapter again. You may make a list of hard words in your English notebook. You may try to find out the meanings and write them down. Till then, bye. God bless you and may peace be with you.